live. Altbays Show brought to you by Altbays.nz. If you're watching us right now, you are watching us on YouTube. And the best thing you can do is subscribe to our channel to support the team. We've been doing this for over 1 year, 169 shows. It's been fun. We live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Always bringing interesting people to have real conversations. Okay, you can also find us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, all the leading audio platforms. So we're live on YouTube, and then you can find us on the audio platforms. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Madhouse, Sean. TikTok, man, not for you.
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
Good
Stay
on
away.
you. Once you're there, man, there's no way back, bro.
Too deep.
Too deep, yes. And our media group is also publishing this beautiful thing here. Look at this. Coromind magazine. If you are listening to us and you cannot see it, it's all good. Just go to coromind.nz and we have a blog in an online version and an audio version of the magazine because accessibility matters. So yeah, check it out. We always invite local artists to be on the cover, and we bring cool people to write and share their thoughts. There's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of different themes. Let me find something cool here. Pia Rogers. Wow. How natural, eh?
Smooth.
How are you, Sean?
I'm good, man. Happy. Busy, but happy.
Busy but happy?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Stoked.
Did you read Pia's piece on the Coromind magazine?
Yeah, I had a quick read in between running around like a headless chook.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Famous.
Famous. What do you think about this idea, man, that we had to bring some young athletes to put in the magazine? Do you see a feel in the Coromando?
A few young
potential like athletes, people doing great in the Coromando?
We've got a history of some pretty cool athletes around this place. And obviously coming through the ranks as they're young. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm all for it. As you know, being a teacher, I'm all about supporting our youth and pushing them to sort of push themselves. It's cool.
That's right. Sean Butler came to the Altbays Show 2 weeks ago?
Something like that.
2 weeks ago with Mr. Nico Fox. So if you haven't watched that show yet, make sure to check it out. That was cool, man. How did you feel about that one?
It was fun, yeah. Obviously a bit nervous at the start, but when you just realise that you're just talking about, things you love and you're passionate about, it's pretty easy and it flows, and time just went on really quick. It was cool. But yeah, no, it's stoked.
Did you have a look at your beard on camera and then you shaved it? What was that?
Yeah, it's been controversial over the last few weeks at school. Kids are like, what the hell happened?
Who is that guy?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's good. I literally had kids just like, I don't know who you are. But yeah, no, it was good. It's fun.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Thanks for doing that, and thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize it was going to happen so quick, but no, I'm happy to be here and I'm excited to have a chat.
Thank you so much. Tonight we have Pia Rogers here with us. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, busy.
Busy?
Busy.
Busy life out in the sea?
Yes.
Yes.
Surfing.
And school. Do you get away with school commitments because you're a top surfer and then you're like, come on, man, I'm doing my thing. What do you want from me, people? Or no, not really?
Sometimes school's really supportive with it, actually, especially with the academy. But yeah, no, actually I do get away with quite a bit lately. Nice. Yeah.
Is it part of what you do at school? Like, do you actually have subjects or something related to PE that you can use your surf to?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have we call it it's an elite surf academy. Started up a couple of years ago. So it's a group of kids from year 7 to 13, and it's a subject. So yeah, we get credits for it. It's pretty good.
It's wild. That is so wild that you get to surf for school.
Yeah.
That is the dream, eh? When you're a kid, that's possible. Because all you do when you're at school is dream of going surfing and draw surfing in all your books and everything like that. And
yeah, pictures of pretty waves.
Yeah, the fact that that's reality is so cool. You feel lucky?
Yeah, so lucky.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do teachers come to you and say, "Oh, you don't know how lucky you are because in my time we didn't have yet"? Do you
mostly
have this?
My dad.
Oh,
yeah, mostly just my dad.
Okay,
yeah.
Shout out to Dad watching us at home. Here we go. So just something quick here before we dive deep into this cool conversation. Pia is a 16-year-old surfer from Whangamata. She has competitively surfed from around the age of 13, now competing in under 18 and open women's competitions around Aotearoa, New Zealand. Pia Rogers won the Premier Women's Division at the 2023 New Zealand Surfing Championship held at Piha in Auckland. How cool is that? I'm not a surfer. I tried. I failed terribly, and I want to get back into it. But I always hear that Piha is just like probably one of the hardest spots. Like it's just a bit like brutal. You gotta know what you're doing there. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, West Coast. Piha's an amazing wave. Lots of power in it. Always surf. I guess on the West Coast, always surf. But yeah, I love Piha. One of my favourite places. Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah, the Wild West. It's pretty.
Wild West.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's what it's known as.
Yes, yeah.
The Wild West. It's super exposed, so it gets lots of swell, which is why it's known as the Wild West, and it gets lots of waves. So it's really busy as far as surfing goes, and yeah, it's a sick spot. Again, a lot of crowds though. We were talking earlier about crowds and trying to dodge those crowds, but yeah.
Before I ask you about the crowds, just want to say thank you to our supporters tonight. Bay's Pizzeria bringing some beautiful kai here for us. I posted a story on our Instagram. There's always a shout out there for them. If you're coming to the Coromandel, make sure to support Bay's Pizzeria and all the local businesses, right? It's a good time to come and support what's happening here in the Coromandel. Oh,
and wait for the award as well.
Oh yeah, so we have a giveaway tonight. So soon I'm going to say the magic words. We don't know what it is. I might leave it for Sean to decide. And then if you are on the live chat, if you type that, you get a voucher for a pizza. Wow, how cool. Amazing. You just scared 3 people at the same time and made one in the room not knowing what was going on. We have this special effect that just drives us crazy. Mom. So what's the thing with the crowd that you guys were saying? Like, does it get too busy in some spots like Piha for?
Yeah, I guess it's probably a selfish thing, isn't it? That we all just want the wave to ourselves, or we want to be surfing one place by ourselves or with our chosen group of people. You don't want to have to wait in line, just like other things in life, just to get that wave or that wave that comes through that you really want yourself, but you have to let someone else take that wave, and that never happens again. Hey, is that sort of how you'd
Yes.
say it?
Yeah.
So crowds, this obviously gets to a point where there's too many people out and you're like bummed that you have to wait 10 waves before your one comes through, and then you rotate, and if you bugger it up, that's your chance for a while.
If you cook it first wave, you're back of the line.
do you get any extra the national champion that there's nothing like?
Okay, you go Pia. On the bar sometimes, but yeah, not really.
Not
Not really, to be honest. Because yeah, it's just like everyone wants the wave. Everyone's been waiting for the same amount of time. Most people, but yeah.
And you were saying something before about the cyclone that actually brought some big swells. So how is Whangamata at the moment?
Yeah, it's all right. We did much better than a lot of places did. Pretty lucky, but yeah, it's good. The bang swell for quite a while after as well, which is good. Probably here as well.
Yeah.
Feel the same, Sean?
Yeah. Well, we're pretty similar aspect, Whangamata and hot water beach where I surf. So, like the swell that Pia would be surfing is exactly the same that we'd be surfing in hot water beach. Maybe not as high quality with the bar, but yeah, we'd be surfing probably the same days.
I'm just thinking here because there must be something, because when I go to Whangamata, we go to deliver the magazines. Sometimes I look over and like it's so crowded. There's so many people. And then it makes me think, you talk to surfers and they're all like, we're all like peaceful people, very nice, And I'm like, I guess they must like want to kill each other if someone steals a wave or something from the. Yeah. So does it get that crazy or not? It's actually okay. It's in the water.
It kind of depends on the person. Whangamata bar can get pretty gnarly. Yeah, just the different levels and different abilities in the water, and then people getting frustrated with each other, especially if on the bar when it's just a long wait and then someone will drop in on someone and it just won't go good. They'll be yelling and going and yeah.
Ever come across some of those, Sean?
Yeah, I'm much more like the relaxed side of things. I don't really get involved in the whole conflict in the water. But yeah, have definitely witnessed a bit of that, and it's sad to see. But yeah, it's a case by case, and that certain people have different mindsets or thoughts towards what should be going on. But yeah, it's just part of the sport, and it's important that you understand how it works. And localism's generally the term that everyone uses around this. Is like, if you're a local, then there seems to be something where you get right of way. And again, it's like a controversial topic because people believe certain parts of that and tend to believe in other parts as well. Like, for me, I'm just stoked on people surfing. Obviously, I play by the rules and I'll follow the rules if I'm surfing in places like Whangamata where there's just no way around it. You know, just drop in on people. And that goes for mainly in surfing. But, you know, if you're surfing a place where it's just whitewash and it's nice and easy, all you want to do is see people getting involved in the sport, right? And enjoying it. So.
Yeah, localism, it sucks because you travel around the country and you want to surf all these amazing places, and it's like at home, you have to, like, you want to be what other people would be if you go to their hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just want to share your waves and you want everyone to have a good time, but yeah.
What do you think, as someone that can surf really well, obviously, going to other places, what sort of strategies could you put in place as far as overcoming that? Like, being someone, say you go surf Taranaki, and you got amazing surf there.
Yeah.
Are you someone that paddles up and says hello and gets really comfortable with people, or do you get a little bit nervous and sort of let your surfing do the talking?
I definitely do get a little bit nervous, especially at the places like Stent Road, especially in Taranaki. Like, maybe not last week, the week before, I spent 4 days in Taranaki and with the academy, Whangatairia Skill Academy. Cool. And we just went down the coast and looked at all these spots, and if there was people there, we wouldn't go out. Because
of the Insta crowd factor?
There's 18 grommies. If we paddled out, it wouldn't be very good.
No. Are you still with us?
I am.
Yeah, cool.
I am. Now carry on. I'll know the time to jump in. You guys carry on, please. Yes.
So 18 groms paddling out in a lineup, it's not really a go, especially just trying to be respectful of the locals. And but yeah, if there's locals out there, I'll try say hi.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the idea, eh?
And then you smash it. You start with a hi, and then you're like, look at me now.
Yeah, there's not much water left on that wave.
So Pia, take me through the nationals that you won this year, because I was reading. I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about how the championship works, but like, just to make sure that I got it right, you actually competed under 18, and you didn't get it. But then there was an open one, which means everyone can compete. And you won that one.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, no. So there's under 14s, under 16s, under 18s and open. And then, of course, the longboarding, supping, boogie boarding. But, yeah, so this year was my first year in under 18s. So I competed under 16s last year. So this year I could only do under 18s and open. So I competed in those two events in the nationals. And yeah, I got to the finals in both of them and didn't get the waves in the 18s, but kind of sussed it in the open. And yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. Good. It sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. That's such a cool result.
Yeah,
Congrats. You should be so proud of that. That's epic. To be, how old are you?
16.
16, and you're essentially the best surfer in New Zealand in women's. Well, that's your title, right?
Yeah.
National champ. That's such a cool achievement.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, that's massive.
Do you feel like how much did it change after that for what you were doing and for the people that you had involved, supporting your career and supporting your like upbringing as an athlete, and now after the title?
Yeah, heaps. Like probably the biggest change I've had so far as in getting this title and what's happened after and what that means, kind of. Definitely like amazing, like such like stoked, right? But yeah, it's come with a lot of opportunities. Really opened up so many things for me, competitions wise, overseas wise, but yeah, sponsorship wise.
Cool. What are you looking forward to go around the world? Which countries are you already checking and you would love to go and surf?
I'd love to go everywhere.
Good. Best answer. Good.
Somewhere with right-handers?
Yeah, somewhere with right-handers. We were talking about this before. Yeah. New Zealand's so left-hander central. Yeah.
So that's about the wind, right? That you guys are talking about.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Tell me, Sean. Take me through. Both of you. There you go. Teach the ones who are watching and don't know much about surf.
So Pia and I are both regular footers, or in surfing we call natural footers. And so it's to do with how you stand up with your left foot's forward or your right
like
foot's
goofy.
forward. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that obviously transfers to skating and snowboarding,
yes,
similar terminology. But it's to do with like what direction's more comfortable for you to go. So if you're a right foot forward and you're a goofy footer, it's easier for you to see going left. You know, you're seeing everything in front of you, you're not looking over your shoulder. If you're a regular or natural footer like us, we want to go right naturally. So it's easier to do with your view and where you can see, like I say, not looking over your shoulder. So goofy footers are all about lefts and they want to go left and everything like that. That's their natural way to go and surf. For us, we just want rights. And unfortunately for Pia and I, this place is notorious for left-handers.
Is it a thing to swap though? Is it a thing to practice to swap? Because like I'm a drummer, so I always check if the drummers are right-handed or left-handed, and that helps to teach. But I always tell them that like don't take it for granted your ability to lead with your left, because you never know when you're gonna do something that might require a left attack or something. So is that something that would work for the sport or not really? That's what it is. And
I mean, it's definitely not common. There's like the pros that can kind of
Being
switch it up
ambidextrous?
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Do you know any surfers that do both? Like every time?
No.
So there's an old guy, he's actually my neighbour and a close friend, Phil, and he's like, I think he must be in his 60s at least, maybe even further than that or close to that. Careful what I say. He surfs big waves with us and he never goes backhand because he's either goofy or regular. So if he's going left, he's a goofy footer. If he's going right, he's regular. And I've never heard everyone else being like that. And it's insane. It's so cool. And he's just taught himself that. That's how it is. The other one I connect that with is with footy that I play. You can't play well unless you can learn to kick off both feet. And so, yeah, there's that sort of similarity. But for surfing, obviously, you just have your dominance,
You just have your one way, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
have you caught some big waves? Is that the style that you would go for as well? Those huge ones, no?
When I was a couple of years ago, I was really into. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a big wave surfer. And I love big waves. But there is a point where I get a bit scared out on the surf. If it's over like 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it get the same attention? Like both, I guess there are different styles, or like usually competitions are all about like the small waves and the moves that you're doing, or you actually get as much recognition for being like those big wave surfer? How does it go?
There's 2 different
Leagues?
Yes, 2 different leagues. That's the word. So there's the big wave league and the, I don't know, what's that one?
Normal, regular.
Normal league.
Classic.
Both under WSL. But so yeah, both do get a bit of recognition. The normal one definitely more.
Yeah.
With all the bigger names and but recently we've had Eli Olsen, who's an amazing big wave surfer from Hawaii in Whangamata. He's shooting that movie at the moment. That's been in Auckland and around there. But yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Would you find that in New Zealand? Any spots that have actually big waves?
Yeah. There's not really a lot of well-known big waves like that. Like overseas travellers and stuff come to surf notoriously. Like you would go to Hawaii and you'd surf Jaws, or the States and surf Mavericks and things like that. There's like these amazing waves around the world, and New Zealand doesn't have big ones on the map that everyone wants to go to and is like really well known. There's definitely a lot of secrets, and you'll find surfers like they keep their secrets close to home. There's a lot of breaks that we don't say, and we definitely wouldn't say on live podcasts about where we go surfing.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like as far as like really good breaks, there's a lot of those that we keep close. But as far like my knowledge is we don't have a lot of huge big waves that would be on that sort of scale. Is that sort of similar to you?
Yeah.
Obviously,
not that I know of.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing something when there was this girl surfing big waves, and I think Kelly Slater said something about like, oh, you gotta be careful, but then it turned into a thing of like people took it as a sexist thing that he was actually sounding like he was saying, "Oh, you know, as a girl, you gotta be careful." I don't remember what the words were, but I remember that there was a bit of a thing of like, "Oh, you know, girls surfing." How do you feel about that? About being a woman, like rocking and doing your thing, and so many amazing females in New Zealand, right? But then you start to get into this, like the big fish thing. And do you feel anything when it comes to that?
Definitely. There's definitely, especially in the Coromandel, there's a good group of girls, strong surfers. But yeah, kind of in the lineup, it's a bit intimidating with mostly all guys all the time. But it's challenging, but in a good way. It pushes you, and you learn a lot. Like I learned so much off my guy mates who are absolutely shredding and teach me heaps. But yeah, I haven't really gone that step further to be. I mean, Junior Worlds last year in El Salvador was really intimidating with the amount of I guess the level of surfing over there, because this is all the best surfers from around the world in one place. And it was just like, well, we just made you just take a step back, and it was pretty cool.
How was the trip to El Salvador?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were the major differences that you picked up?
The culture, the waves, the heat. The water was so hot you couldn't even paddle.
Right.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience to do that, represent your country, which was cool.
Have you done some more, like international?
Hopefully this year. Hopefully. Yeah, fingers crossed. See how I do in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of South Island comps coming up. So after that's kind of the team's decided. But we'll see.
What about personal trips? Like, you done Bali, Indo?
I haven't done. I did Bali when I was 2.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't see. Yeah. But other than that, I used to live in Aussie.
Of course.
Yeah, El Salvador.
Is Indo on the list, Mum?
And Fiji's on the list
Fiji.
this year.
Yeah.
Indo's definitely on the list. Couple trips to Aussie, hopefully. Comps and stuff.
Have you done West Oz?
No, that's on the list.
It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Some amazing waves there.
Oh, yeah? Good surf in Australia. So we were talking about that before the show. It seems like it would be a country that is more prepared to host professional surfers. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. More money in the sport. People to push you, coaches. Just overall better, more waves. Yeah.
So like even as a New Zealand surfer, you would still get all the support and everything in Australia. You would there would be sponsors and supporters keen to have you there representing their brands, even though you are from a different country. Am I right to say that or not?
Well, yeah, it kind of. I feel like it comes with the ability that you're at. Like they would love to support you if you can, I don't know, meet their standards, I guess. And to meet how's the Aussies surf, because they surf really good. And there's a lot of competition over there. So if they want to support you, it's cool. It's cool if you want to get supported by Aussie brands. And a lot of those big brands are like Aussie based. So they could come over the ditch and be like, oh, you're ripping. Get picked up by like Rip Curl Billabong.
Have you got some mates, Sean, that are on this life of doing the thing professionally with the work and with the craft?
Nah, not really, not professionally. I've got we speak of a few friends of mine that Pia knows and surfs with, like Jay. He's a local boy here who's pushing the envelope here, but hasn't really stepped into that next zone. I don't think he's as focused on just surfing. He's sort of doing his teaching thing, which is cool as well, and he still rips. Obviously, got second the other day, which is cool. But as far as well-known names and stuff, definitely no close contacts, but keep an eye on them anyway, and it's cool to see. But yeah, hopefully it's Pia Rogers in the future.
Pia Rogers, yeah. Are you going for surf as a career for you? Like, do you love that idea? Do you consider other things? Do you want to study something else? How do you feel about the future? Because you said you're year 12?
Year 12, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I've finished school. Yeah, I mean, I love surfing. I kind of just want to see where it takes me. Goals are important. So important to push yourself and not just stand there and not do anything about it if you have a goal, to take action. But yeah, would definitely love to give it a shot. QS overseas when I'm finished school, maybe.
What is QS?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. It's the qualifying series. So it's the series everyone goes to that can put you on track to becoming professional, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow, there must be blood in the water for that. Must be.
It's definitely
It
more
is.
hardcore, and
Heavy,
it's
must
pretty
be
intense.
tough.
Yes.
But there's so the qualifying series, so Pia would go over there and she'd surf in a bunch of events, and depending on how she does, she'll get a certain amount of points towards her tally, and at the end of the season there's a cut-off with whoever has a certain amount of points, they move up to the series, right? To the
Challenger series.
yeah.
And then
she gets through
kind of
that.
same thing. And then championship tour.
Yeah, she's on the big league. It'll happen.
It's happening. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fun. Sounds like you got a good plan there. But if not that, like what are other things that you're interested, that you fancy? It's cool and
Yeah, well, uni's obviously an option when I finish school. Kind of, I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just like, I just want to chase waves. Chase waves, make money when I can, and just cruise. But yeah, uni's definitely an option for me. Would be cool to go to the Gold Coast. Study. So like I was saying before, really into journalism and that side of things. Would be cool to travel around with that as well. But yeah, just
Could you connect them? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's
Yeah.
that much sort of media work around surfing, right? You
Yeah.
could look into that and work for the WSL or
sports
company.
journalism and yeah, but not really any plans at the moment.
just catching waves.
Yeah, catching
Making-
waves.
just catching waves, make sure you do. That's cool. That's great. I keep thinking about the opportunity that the school gives, because probably was not like that for years, right? Probably for a lot of people it was just not easy to go for something that you love, and you wouldn't have many people saying, "Yeah, no, give it a go." It's important.
It is important, yeah. And Dylan Keir started it up a couple years ago, and it's been amazing. It's been so cool. And then Rangi Orman joined a couple years ago, and he's an ex-pro surfer, so he just travelled around doing his thing, making videos, ripping. But yeah, that's pretty cool to have them. Pretty lucky, and Rangi's amazing. So is Dylan, and yeah.
When you are with your friends and you're having all these conversations, because I can only relate, not only, but I can relate to when I was on my year 12, and I was like, a long time ago, Sean. Couple of years ago. This thing of like, what is it gonna be? What are you gonna do? You know, like a bit of peer pressure, a bit of like pressure coming from home, and I think the personal, you know, the pressure within of like, what am I doing? And then you're fine. And I think I was very similar, because I had this thing with like, I just want to do something related to TV or film, you know, like, so I had some questions about what I was exactly doing, but I had a plan. But I remember my friends, and some of them were so lost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. Do you feel like that sometimes, that like you can actually support your friends because you're in a position that you have an idea, or like how is that vibe with your group of friends?
Sometimes I do feel like I can support them, but sometimes I take a step back and I'm like, I actually have no idea what I'm doing.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and I've kind of
okay.
started to realize that that's fine. And I've kind of, after like winning the title, like Open Women's Champ, it's kind of, I don't know, not from everyone else, but from myself. I feel like it's put a lot of pressure on me just to do well, really. And I feel like everyone's watching me, and I've kind of just had to kind of take a step back for a bit and be like, well, I'm 16, I've got all the time in the world, I shouldn't feel this pressure, and yeah, just to go with the flow.
It's a very mature thing to think through. Well done.
And your family supports you, right?
Oh,
Which is a
Totally.
big thing,
Yeah,
right?
they're amazing.
Driving to Whitianga. That's cool. It makes a big difference, eh, Sean?
What's that?
When you can pick up that like
When you
a
have the
student or
support.
someone is coming with support from home and
Yeah, support's everything, right? It makes you sort of comfortable and realize that it's okay to sort of, if it is a failure or, you know, just try things, to know that you're going to fall back into people that are going to help you, right? Mum and dad, usually the big support networks when we're this age. Pretty lucky to have those. And our friends too, right? You must have some pretty supportive friends. You've got friends that you surf with, but obviously other friends out of surfing, I'm guessing that
Yeah,
it's
amazing
probably nice
friends.
to step away sometimes, eh?
Yes, yeah, because you got kind of two different worlds. Like surfing's like a lifestyle, lots of people say, and yeah, kind of two separate worlds, and it's amazing to be a part of both of them.
Yeah, you need both, right? Especially when you're talking about having this pressure.
Yes, yeah.
I haven't been New Zealand champ before, but I can imagine there's a lot of pressure, like you say.
Yeah.
have you had some encounters in the water with some
Toothy thingies?
yeah with some
Big fish.
not just crazy surfers yelling at you, but like some
I've actually been pretty sweet. I've seen them from a distance, like out on the Whangamata bar. There's actually quite a few, but just bronzies. No,
just browsing.
no great whites or anything. They won't hurt you unless you annoy them. But yeah, no, I've been pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
What about funny stories or something in the water in your practice or I don't know, breaking surfboards or getting hit in the head or something like that?
I've had a surfboard through the lip, had like 12 stitches in my lip and all over my mouth. My brother's had a surfboard through his cheek.
Ooh.
Jay had that
Like,
too. The
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Right.
He's got a scar, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, not really. Just lots of funny wipeouts and hold downs and yeah.
Have you got into like the clips and things like that? Have you taken on that side of things, like filming and
yeah.
making edits and stuff? That's been quite a recent thing the last sort of 5-6 years, is making these edits of each other or yourselves. And
Yeah.
I noticed there's like little posses now, that like have their own Instagram page and take videos of each other.
What is Little Posse?
Like a posse is like a little group, like
Right.
like yeah. We
So-
used to have like a snowboarding.
So the first person to type Little Posse on our chat
Careful you spell that
gets
right.
the pizza. How do you spell posse, Sean?
Oh, now you're putting POSSE. Thank you.
There you go. Don't type something else. Little
Yeah.
Posse. Who types that gets the
accent
pizza on
could
the
be
show.
tricky,
Cool.
yeah.
There you go. So carry on with the group. So what was the thing? Like you would have the mates.
Just quite a trend that I've noticed is probably now an old person in the lineup or someone that watches the odd video and supports it. A lot of the younger guys, I'm guessing Pia is one of those younger crew, that they video and filming each other and obviously watching that video and getting better from video analysis and stuff is really cool. But then obviously showing how you can click one wave and you might have done one good turn, but the rest of them are all tucker or something, and you can just put that good part into an edit and suddenly there's like 5 minutes of 5 months of surfing and it looks so cool. You put a cool song to it. These days, like kids are using old school rap that was made before they were even born. Don't even know the words, and they put that to it. Am I right? Mum's cracking up. I'm so right. So accurate. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
more
the
the
boys.
more the
Right.
more the like the yeah. It's kind of sponsors love it, so
Right.
it's kind of like
'Cause it's just a
promoting.
click share, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
promoting yourself, putting up on Instagram. People wanting the support from the big brands but just to show everyone what you're up to, really.
That's cool.
But yeah, you're right. It's like your best waves over like 6 months. You just like accumulate the clips and just put them all together, and yeah, you got an edit.
Yeah.
How good are you with your social media presence? Do you engage? Do you actually enjoy spending time and doing your thing, posting?
I'm not amazing. I'm pretty random on my social media. Like, I'm not so just surfing. I'm kind of just a bit of everything.
Okay.
I don't engage much on it. I'm trying to get better at it because that is what people like, especially from a sponsorship
I was going
point
to
of
ask,
view.
what's your
Yeah.
support networks
Yeah.
like? Do they push you to try and put things out?
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
It's been a lot mum and dad trying to push me lately. But yeah, it's pretty crazy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, trying to get better at it. Yeah.
But
It's just like the trying to get people to film you, and
Right.
that's the hard part. Yeah.
Because it's easy to become something that you don't want in your life, especially for someone who is so active and doing your thing out there as a sports person. Like you don't want to spend much time on your phone, right?
You want things to look at least or feel natural, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then it's important, right? You gotta you gotta put yourself out
Yes.
there for the people who don't know you, or for the people who want to have a look. So
Yep.
finding that balance,
Yep. 100%.
would Instagram be the one mainly nowadays for,
Yeah.
for what sponsors are looking for, and what do you think?
Yeah, Instagram's the one. There's not much else. Oh, there's YouTube. I don't have TikTok. I haven't had TikTok for a couple years. So I wouldn't know about that. But I have heard of people posting on TikTok their surfing edits, and I think that does well too. But I think Instagram's mainly the one.
Instagram is
Yeah.
the one.
So who sponsors you?
At the moment, Anderson Surfboard supports me.
Pete?
Yeah, such a legend. Yeah, there's just things to come, hopefully.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And your brother is on a mission as well, right? Your brother?
Yes.
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 How old is he?
He's 15. Ash is 15. Yeah, I got two younger brothers.
Two?
One's
Oh, cool.
12. One's 15. 11 maybe.
Is the 12-year-old also surfing? Also,
He does surf. He's actually got his own little gig going on. He's he's really into his mountain biking. Yeah, so he loves his mountain biking every day. Yeah.
Which is epic in Whangamata too, eh?
Yeah.
Having those tracks. It's
Yeah,
a bit of a
pretty
haven
cool.
for you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you know about there's mountain biking tracks all through the back of Whangamata?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can ride from town. I did it when I worked at the school for a
Mhm.
bit. It's epic. It's a pretty cool setup.
Really good for the school as well. They've got a little team of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've gotten way better. I think there's a guy out there that works on them like 24/7, and
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty epic.
So what did you know? Like what was different when you came from Australia and then you started school in Whangamata? What were the things that you were looking and you're like, this is a different world here going on. What's happening here?
Yeah, well, coming from Noosa, in Sunshine Coast is a really busy place. And coming to the small town of Whangamata was different. Like we used to come back for holidays sometimes for Christmas and stuff, or just in summer. But Dad grew up in Whangamata, so of course we knew people and there was connections. But yeah, it was so different for me going to a school of like 500 kids and just not knowing anyone was the hard. Well, like all the kids, not knowing many people, and yeah, just a small surfy town. Everything was pretty cruisy compared to Noosa. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice change. I really love it.
How do you feel? Do you feel the same, Sean? Because for you grew up in Hotwater Beach, right? But you moved a bit. You went to.
Yeah, I guess at different times in your life, those transitions are either more tricky or less tricky. Like, how old were you when you moved to Whangamata from Noosa?
10.
10. So, like, at that age, kids tend to, like, the next day they've got a best friend they met yesterday, right? Like, my niece has just started year 9. She's come from a contributing school at Whanuakiri, and she was super nervous. Day 2, she's, like, got a new best friend she met 2 days ago. So that's crazy. But yeah, like I going to uni, I remember being really nervous because I went from being a beach kid that's never left this sort of zone, and that's your safe zone, to literally living in a box in the middle of Christchurch 2 days before the earthquakes. Like, it was an adjustment. So yeah, transitions are hard, but luckily, you know, like you say, your family had some history at Whangamata, and you could sort of fall back on that a little bit. And obviously you're young, pretty easy to make friends, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a New Zealand champion, right? You know, the surfer.
The future,
like,
yeah.
What?
That's huge.
Cool. That's amazing. So good to have you here. Like, you know, like with a good mindset. That's the coolest thing. You know, like you onto it. You're on a mission.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that we appreciate seeing. You know, like I think for the country it means a lot. But just, you know, like for a town, for a lot of young people who are watching and enjoying doing their sports. And we talked about when Sean came here a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how crazy it is that you watch the Olympics, for example, and you have those skaters, like they're 11, 12, 13, and like getting those gold medals and going hard. And then I was talking to one of our friends, well, one of the students, but like he's a friend as well. We're friends with the family. And I was like, man, are you going to be a pro? And he's like, I think I'm too old. And he's 15, you know? And then I started to realize that like, there's also this thing that like, it's amazing for us to see, but then also for a lot of kids, they feel a little bit of pressure of like, oh, the little ones are rocking and am I already behind?
Yeah, like there's girls, and like I said, those amazing girls in the Coromandel, like there's the groove girls, like they push me, like both of those girls. I think Lola's 12, Chloe's 14, 15, and they're amazing. Like they rip. And there's like girls on tour, Katie Simmers, I think she's 17. She's a year older than me on the championship tour, and there is pressure, but I feel like everyone's on their own kind of journey, and just happen as it happens.
It's a strange concept though, right? Like to think that someone that like their body hasn't even fully developed and they can be competing against someone 20, 30 years older than them and doing like so much better than half of them, you know, or all of them, to be fair. You know, look at Sierra Kerr, people like that are like pushing that side of the sport, and like you say, Katie Simmers, 17, and she's actually beating most of these open women, you know, in the world. Like to be that age, you're still, there's so many things you're learning about being a human being, let alone being the best human being at one sport. It's mind-boggling.
Did you feel less pressure when you were competing on the open one? Because like when it was your category, you were like, okay, this is me. But then in the open, you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually quite, so my 18 girls heat was just before my open women's heat. So there was the 18 boys heat in between. And because I really wanted to do well in the 18 girls, I was kind of fired up that I didn't. And I got beaten by these two other girls. I think I got third in the 18s. So I was like, okay, there's no...
Still third best in New Zealand. Anyway, sorry.
So I went on to the open heat, and I was just like, I'm just going to surf how I just want to showcase my surfing. I just want to do as best as I can, and just to leave it all out there. And I did, and just worked out for me. But
who do you look up to?
It's a good question.
Good question. Good.
I look up to a lot of the open women in New Zealand. A lot of the people that have made names for themselves. A lot of the people get chances to, but never do anything with it. I look up to my family, my parents, my brothers, even though they're younger than me. Especially my younger brother Ash, he surfs really well. Lots of the kids in Whanga.
That's I'm interested. You're talking about your surfing and who you look up to in the New Zealand league or whatever, the realm of like female surfers. I think of like Paige and Ella and people like that. Are those sort of people supportive of you, or is it strictly like quite a competitive scene? Are you close with them, or do they talk to you, or do they try and help you? Is it like that, or do you think that's something you might look forward to in Aussie, or having more of that like close role model for your sport?
Yeah, well, in New Zealand, especially with those girls, they're kind of they're trying to make a name for themselves. So they're in Aussie doing the QS. So they're not so much here. They support women surfing in New Zealand. They do what they can, and it would be cool to get to know them more. Because they seem like they'll know a lot. So hopefully I get to go overseas with them a bit this year. Cool. But
it's interesting, because it's someone you would imagine like, oh, I look up to her, but like you are competing against her.
Yes, yeah, no, it is cool.
So there's room, obviously, for to engage and to learn and to chat, but it's sport, right? You are competing, you are in the same competition. That's crazy. That's crazy. I love this part of how inclusive it is now, and that's why I was really enjoying watching the skate comps in the Olympics. I was like, these kids, they should be learning from these people, but actually they are
competing,
and they're beating them as well. Like they're making amazing stuff. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing to for growth. Like how how you're dealing with all these things at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I only imagine, but it'll be a pressure cooker for young people. You know, even a lot younger than Pia even, you know, you see like 12-year-olds and things like that on their stages. And there's a high expectation on them, you know, to compete and to perform. Let's talk about support, like sponsorship and things like that, you know. There's a lot of pressure there. So I often think about like what goes on behind the scenes and how they feel about it all. So it's interesting to get a perspective from someone that's been involved. And I think that comes from me as a teacher by profession. You're thinking about the whole well-being of a student or a young person. You really get concerned that they're doing okay, or that, you know, that everything's not too overwhelming for them. Like we've got one of my kids in my class, Seth, who I think you've had on. It's so epic to see what he does with his scootering. You know, he's I think it's second or third in the world for scootering, and I always give him a bit of shit about being a scooter rider and not a skateboarder. But it's actually such an achievement. It's so cool to see someone that's gone that far, and he's super quiet and chilled about it. You wouldn't know unless you'd been told or, you know, managed to see something. It's so rad. But yeah, I only imagine there's a lot of pressure at times,
especially with school as well.
Yeah.
And NCA level 2, it's a big year.
You got to get credit still, eh?
Got to get credit still, and manage your time. And just it's a bit.
How do you find teachers?
Yeah, they're good. Like I said in Whangamata, they're supportive of it.
Cool.
And
Do you have a special preparation for a competition, or for the days before, or for the day, like something with the diet, or like your rest or training before?
Definitely lots of rest. Mum makes me take my vitamins.
Nice.
Just rest, water, just cruising, not just surf as much as I can really. Up to the comp, not to do too much like fitness kind of thing leading up to a comp.
Not to do too much?
Yeah.
Right.
Closer to it, yeah.
And food? Do you eat all sorts of foods? Is there anything that you avoid, or you just like, nah, you makes you feel good, you go for it?
Yeah,
nice. What do you want to eat as soon as you finish a competition or something? What is the thing that you look forward to? Like, it's like
I don't know. I crave different things every time. Lots of the time, it's just like big meals, not just like snacks. Pizza, love pizza.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Anything, not fussy. Yeah.
Anything. What about you, Jean? Did you have any sort of like, still when you take students, or because it's an active job, you're taking a lot of kids to do these activities, and we gotta be on top of ourselves, right? Is there anything that you pay attention?
I don't eat too much crap food. I don't eat great, but you got to fuel the machine. You can't fuel the racehorse on raisins, eh? So a big one for me is role modelling too. You can't tell these kids that you got to bring quality food and then show up with Macca's or something like that. Yeah. Like being an outdoor ed teacher, I'm eating a lot of pasta and rice meals and stuff that's really going to fuel you properly, and you're having that mindset of actually like what you eat is really going to affect your performance and what you're doing. So, like I say, role modelling is pretty important when it comes to food on camps, but that goes out the window when I go home. Like, if I'm completely honest, I eat junk food, eat takeaways, and I don't know, maybe that's something to do with being in a long-term relationship now. I don't care too much about what I look like. Just love the taste of good food.
There you go. Would you eat before a competition, or you wait for how does that work?
It's actually really weird. Like during competitions, I'm not hungry. Like I'll wake up and I don't feel like breakfast. I'll eat breakfast anyway. Mum makes me eat breakfast, which is good. But yeah, I'm just never hungry throughout the whole day, and then I kind of just forget to eat, and I don't know, it's weird. It's like my mind's just set on the competition. I'm just like surfing.
It's a common thing though, right? Like nerves and things like that. All that emotion, you just forget about things like eating. You're too nervous.
Yeah.
I know.
And if I eat something, it would make me feel sick, or just not 100%.
Amazing. I love this. I look forward to have you back in the future once you get some of those experiences overseas. and that would be cool. Congratulations, such a cool
Thank you.
journey that you're on, and thanks for coming, for doing this.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's been so cool. Yeah,
Nice.
so epic.
Thank you. Send a message to the crazy little ones that will be your competitors soon, because now you're inspiring a lot of kids. They're like, what? 16, New Zealand champion, what?
Yeah, I just want to encourage people to get into it, and even from any age, like not just kids, anyone. It's a cool place to do it, New Zealand, and all around the world. Cool community, cool people. So, yeah.
Is that right, Sean?
Yeah. She's got her head on her shoulders for sure. It's cool. It's really inspiring. It's really cool. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much for doing this. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Sean, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Mom, thanks for the drive and for
Thanks, Mum.
joining us.
Thanks, Mum.
Thanks, Taylor. And for you watching us, make sure to be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. We have Mr. Christopher Parker. He's a writer. He released a book that he's been writing for 10 years. He's got a lot of stories to talk about that. And we have Mr. Stupidly as a co-host. It's going to be a fun one. I'll see you on Thursday. Peace.
Altbays.